Hello?
Hello, Mr. Smith?
Yeah, hi there.
Hello, sir. It's Sergeant from Barnet Police. I've been asked to give you a ring about your recent call
Yeah,
concerning your brother.
yeah, hi.
But first of all, obviously, let me offer my condolences. It's very, very sad.
Yeah, I know,
I've taken it from what you've told us, and I appreciate, how sad that would be, what's occurred. All I can say to you is, in relation to your concerns, what you would need to do is, if you want to make a complaint to be formally investigated, because of the nature of what you're saying, it would have to be done in writing, and it would probably be better if you did it after consultation with a solicitor. Although you don't have to, you can just do it yourself, but you may well wish you want to seek the services of a solicitor. You should get, sort of legal aid, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But the only thing I can say to you is, and what I'm going to say isn't fair, it isn't balanced, and it isn't how we like life to be, but it's how the job works and how life works, is the police are under immense pressure with domestic complaints to take what they call a positive action policy.
Yeah, this is what I believe the government has gone wrong.
I know, and that's exactly, and at the end of the day, we obviously act how we're directed to by the government, which of course filters down through all the, the sort of the liberal elite who seem to run this country.
Well, at the moment, nobody will tell me who's responsible for writing that code of practice. Therefore, I feel I've got to take it out on the actual police officer themselves.
Well, I mean, that is one way of bringing it about.
That's
Obviously,
right,
at some point, you then instigate.
There needs to be brought some attention to it.
You instigate something, but I mean, you've only got to. Anyone who has any dealings with the law in this country will understand just how biased and unfair the law is.
Oh, I know. I've had drug-dealing police officers against me and police officers threatening to kill me.
Exactly, against men in relationships. I mean, this is why we get Fathers for Justice blocking motorways up on bloody gantries every other day. Do you know what I mean? Unfortunately, we are in a situation at the moment where the law is completely biased against the male and is draconian. There's no doubt about it. And men are being arrested for absolute trivial things.
I want to get Hendon Magistrates Court arrested. I think they failed my brother by prosecuting him. They should have thrown it out.
I mean, you see, at the end of the day, the way the system works now is, in the old days, I've got 38 years service, so I joined the police in a different era, generation, and I find it hard to understand what goes on these days. But in the old days, the police did everything. You arrested someone, you charged them, you put them before the court, you prosecuted everything. Nowadays, it's all done through a CPS. All the police do is physically take someone into custody. The CPS then decide what action will happen from there. Now, the officers arrest people in domestic situations because that is their direction.
I understand that.
It's completely draconian. The logic behind it, if you want to call it a logic, is that the wife phones up, says, he threw a paper at me. The police go, say, look, sit down, sort your problems out, don't worry about it. They leave. 5 minutes later, the bloke stabs the woman to death, and then everyone says, well, the police were called, it did nothing. So, if that's their logic. It's
well,
irrational.
The thing is, it wasn't his wife who wanted him prosecuted. It was a woman called Tina that pushed her to do it.
I'm sure. And at the end of the day, we get numerous calls by wives who call police, make it quite clear they don't want the other partner arrested, they just want them to be spoken to, they just want them to have feel they're getting some support for whatever reason, and it generates a momentum out of control. The police take it over, the CPS take it over, and then the wishes of the woman are out the window. And if you get a woman who says, look, I don't want him arrested, I don't want him prosecuted, sorry, love, you've called us, we're now involved, we're going to do what we want. And that's what happens. Now, the policy that he got arrested would have been the officers following their direction.
Yeah, it's a political
policy. The CPS,
absolutely.
The CPS will be the ones who actually took it before the court. Having gone before the court, if he has then been convicted, that is obviously the court that's doing that. And I can see where you're coming from. Believe me, I'm on your side.
See, the council then fired him because he had a criminal record.
Well, of course, that's right, absolutely. And this is it. You're destroying people's lives. It's unbelievable. But all I'll say to you is, in all honesty, unless you've got a substantial clout, and a lot of people with serious clout have tried to, and they've never got anywhere with it.
I will never use a solicitor again in this country.
All I'll say is, if it gives you some relief or some sort of pleasure or whatever to try and have some comeback, you can do it by all means. But I can assure you, I'd be absolutely amazed if you get anything at all other than a very unfeeling letter giving you some what I would call bullshit.
I understand.
But I think that's all you're going to get out of it. It'll just be a few curt sentences from someone.
Well, right now, I already know that. That's why I want to get Bernadette Popo in front of the magistrate myself.
Yeah, but all I can say is if you did want to try, you just have to put it in writing. And obviously, you know, if you could do, you know, get a solicitor's advice on it, it would count for a bit. But even then, you know, you might find solicitors who just turn around to you and say, look, mate, I can't do anything for you. It's just the way it is. You know,
I know that. I know.
But all I can say is it would have to be in writing if you even want it to get looked at. At least in writing. If you put it in writing, at least you'll get a written response.
Yeah, well,
and I can tell you now, it'll be along the lines of what I've told you.
Yeah, I understand that.
But you'd get it in writing if you felt like it. But that's all I can advise you guys.
Well, the reason why I made the phone call today is that this week in France, they're having a parliamentary debate on creating a new crime, which is psychological warfare going on between partnerships. And that's why I'm bringing it up today, because it was on the news last night, what's happening in France.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, you know, if you look at how the continent are in relation to a lot of their laws, they're a bloody sight better than we are. And whereas we used to be renowned throughout the world as leading, we are now the fools of the world. We are looked upon as idiots when it comes to... I totally
agree with you. It's disgusting what's happened.
It's terrible the way we've gone, but... Anyway, I'm sorry about your loss, Governor. I truly am.
Well, thanks for your candour and like being honest and stuff like that, because that's what we need in this country, is more guys like you actually putting your foot down and saying...
Well, I've got to be honest with you. We often say it where I'm sitting in the control room here, that if some of the people here who are old school, who've got old values, you know, a bit of common sense, all the rest of it, you need people like that to run the country.
That is what my complaint against Bernadette is basically about, or rather her supervisor. I sincerely believe that if my brother was dealt with by a more experienced officer, it would never have gone to...
I can't agree with you more. I can tell you that. And at the end of the day, you see, the experienced officers know how to weigh things up. How to weigh things up and know how to explain it. How to explain it away in writing, how to explain it away if they're asked. But you do need experience. And unfortunately, these days, you've got very few experienced officers that are still doing this sort of street duty work. Because most of the experienced officers tend to be in like these squads and departments that are dealing with more serious matters, in all honesty. And the people you're getting on the street are very, very young in service. And like anyone who's young in service, they're impressionable, they've got nothing to fall back on, and they do what they're told by the book, because that's all they understand. And you can't teach experience, you can learn it, but you can't teach it. And
well, in this case, even if you were experienced, the political issues would override inexperience anyway.
You're quite right. If I'd have been there, I can't imagine for 1 minute he would have been arrested.
But I mean, I could understand, say, a written warning or caution or something, and if it happens 2 or 3 times, then nick him. Everyone deserves to be nicked if you're going on and on and on. But that is what it's all based on. Do something once and then get prosecuted.
Positive action in relation to domestics, and that's what they base it on.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you what, mate. Something very simple. I mean, it didn't lead to anything tragic like this, but I can tell you now. A few months ago, we had a call from a woman who said, believe it or not, my boyfriend is taking too much of the duvet. And that was her call, right? Her call was, my boyfriend is taking too much of the duvet. I then said, we are not going to send a police officer to this. This is ludicrous. This is a complete waste of police time. We've got people out there wanting to report burglaries, you know, whatever.
Where did she get the idea into her head that she could...
Because this is the police themselves encourage these people. It's unbelievable. But the following day, the governor had me in his office and said, about that thing yesterday, you're in the wrong, you should have sent an officer. And when I sort of questioned his logic, it was the same thing. He said, supposing that argument over the duvet had carried on and one of them had stabbed the other. And I said, well, if you're going to take that argument, I said, why don't we have a policeman in everyone's front room?
Well, that's right, if some buts and all that.
You know, I mean, absolutely pathetic. But there you go, Mr. Smith.
Okay.
I'm sorry for your loss, but
well, thank you for calling me back and your time and stuff like that.
And apart from this, let me wish you a decent New Year.
Well, and you guys, and I am going to put this in writing. And you know, I know it's not really a policing issue; it's a political issue.
It certainly is, sir. 100%.
Don't worry, I'm up on that.
All right, Governor.
Thanks very much for your time.
Bye bye now.
Cheers, bye.